a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. What's up? Hey, what's going on? Okay, everyone, here's what we have today. The 2024 Mini Cooper JCW 126 edition. And you're probably wondering, what's the 126 edition? What does it mean? Is it worth buying this thing? What's cool about it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. First thing we'll talk about is the exterior, because it comes with some little design features that you won't find in another JCW. First is the front end. First thing you notice is the stripe at the top, which, if you look carefully, it has a small pattern, the shift pattern in this case, because it's 1 to 6. It's a manual transmission, therefore they're including those little designs. The next thing is, of course, the badge, which is blacked out. Then we have the grille at the bottom, blacked out, with the air intake inlets, which are larger now this time, because this is the symbol of high performance JCW. On the side, we've got the 17-inch, but you can also get the 18-inch, because these are winter tires. Of course, they're coming with a 17-inch, still cold in Canada, even though you don't see snow around for now, but they must have winter tires. If you come close over here, we have the actual wheel cap located into the center, which, by the way, moves. Look at that. You can do this, and it does have the 126 logo to let you know that these wheels are for the 126 edition. Only 999 units will be made for this edition, so you might want to check that out in person. The next thing you notice is the red calipers with the Mini Cooper logo and the beautiful blacked out side fender. And if you come close over here, for the right turning signal, we have the badge that says 126, and inside that we have the shift pattern, again, a little quirk or a little design that they've included with this model. The stripe starts from the hood, continues onto the roof, all the way to the back where the spoiler is located, and it ends right on the trunk, but not the entire trunk, just some parts of it. I love the little details of this limited edition production model, because if you look carefully, the same thing continues at the top, and it does have a badge that says 126. In case someone is looking from up there, they know this is not just a standard JCW Mini Cooper. And if we go all the way to the back, we have this beautiful spoiler with this package, which gives it a very aggressive look. On the seat pillar, you have the 126 badge with the shift pattern at the top, but it's located also on the left side, which I think is nice add-on. More things have been added to the rear end, including the diffuser at the bottom, aggressive design overall, and on the left side of the trunk, you have that shift pattern continuing, again, just so that it enhances the overall design of the vehicle. Top of that, we have the blacked out badge for the Mini, and with this package, of course, you get the twin exhaust pipes in the back for that performance feeling when you're driving, and you can hear that beautiful engine do those pops on the road, which I kind of like it. Generally speaking, I'm a big fan of Mini Coopers. They're small, they're fun to drive, and they actually look great. And the JCW 126 edition is one of those vehicles that will stand out. With all those little quirks and designs on the outside, it's going to make the owner feel a bit special. I know to some people that's weird. Well, Sam, it's just a little quirks here and there. Yes, it's true. It's not a lot of things added to it, but that's what makes this thing special, is because they don't want to overdo it. adding carbon fiber everywhere for a vehicle that doesn't make a ton of horsepower, but is yet a lot of fun to drive. They've included more of those design features on the inside, so let's discover them one by one. Let's talk about what's new or what's been added to this 1/6 edition on the inside. Okay, jumping on the inside, it starts with the actual panel located here, this doorstep. This one also has the same design, the 1/6, with the 6 number being in red, and the pattern continues, the shift pattern, little logos, which I kind of like. Steering wheel, nice and grippy, leather finish, nice touch. Feels like a BMW in some ways because, you know, BMW makes these. Same thing with the logo located onto the steering wheel, which says 1/6. Moving on to the center, very similar to standard JCW, nothing crazy here for the screen. It is a touchscreen, which is nice. Then we have the panel underneath here for your climate unit. Then you have the start and stop button, and there is the sport mode. There's no extra modes with this, so everything remains very much the same. Moving on to the actual shift knob itself, we have it in red, 1/6. Because this is 6 gears in this case for a small engine. That's quite impressive. We have red stitching for the gear boot in this case. There's a manual armrest, and one of the things that annoys me about the Mini Cooper is this armrest, because when you're shifting manually, kind of makes this thing useless. I just leave it this way and it's easy to work. But the other useless part is that my phone does not fit in here, and we've talked about this before. They have yet to change this. Next thing, the carpets. These are different carpets, meaning that you have the 1/6 logo, just unique to this model. The seats have a nice design, the JCW overall, absolutely love that. The dashboard on the passenger side has similar pattern, engraved in this case, not painted, and it has the 1/6 logo on the right side. On top of that, on the left side of the actual cluster, we have 1 of 999. That means there's only going to be 999 units, and it's located right beside the main cluster on the left of the steering wheel, which I think is quite nice. It comes with 2 panoramic roofs all across, Harman Kardon audio system, and overall, very nice interior. And here you go. Very nice steering wheel overall, the logo at the bottom. Of course, we have these haptic or touch buttons located onto the right side, same thing on the left side with the cruise control, which is quite nice. I love the steering wheel. It's nice and grippy. But one thing I find a bit disappointing is the fact that it doesn't have red stitching here, similar to the boot in the Santa. But I do believe they made this to match the actual color of the logo 1/6 here, kind of like a silver color, which I think that's the direction that they took for this stitching here. The infotainment display, it is of course touchscreen, and you have a center unit behind the shift knob that you can use it manually, similar to what a BMW looks like. You have built-in navigation system, you have your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I've actually connected my phone in here, Amazon Alexa with this package, Wiki Local, not sure anybody's going to use that, but that's how you connect your phone. It's a bit different. I know a lot of people get confused with BMW vehicles trying to find how to connect their phones, and then your built-in navigation system. In this case, there's the Mini Cooper, and we can change the driving mode. So here you go. You have your sport display in this case. So the only thing you get is just sport mode and green mode, which is essentially your eco mode in this case. If you don't want to burn too much gas, most people buy this to have fun. So that kind of writes this thing off completely in terms of the green. I never use that, but anyways, let's go back into the main menu. You go into My Mini, lots of settings. And one thing I noticed with this being a manual transmission is the fact that when you have the camera, it shows the parking mode. So that helps you with park mode, which is kind of interesting to see in a vehicle with a manual transmission. You press that and it helps you park the vehicle. Another thing I love about the Mini Cooper, which I think is pretty cool, it's this. That is the heads-up display fighter jet style. That is pretty cool. Under the hood, the Mini Cooper JCW 1/6 edition uses a 2-liter, 4-cylinder, twin-power turbocharged engine. Of course, it is a BMW engine. We know that because they're manufactured around the same area and they use almost the same components and the same engine as some BMW models. This 2-liter inline 4 makes about 228, 231 brake horsepower, although in here it shows, based on the sport display, 240. So we know BMW underrates their machines, sort of. It does come with a 6-speed manual transmission, and that's the important factor here, because some of the heads of Mini Cooper have said that 99% chance the 6-speed manual is going to go away completely. Although BMW themselves haven't said anything about their models, but in this case for the Mini Cooper, this is your last chance to get a 6-speed manual transmission Mini Cooper JCW, which I think for the fans, the petrol heads that love this brand, that is quite important. Price-wise, what are we looking at for this model? Well, first thing is that this will cost in Canada about $56,000, $57,000. It's about $3,000 to $4,000 more than a standard JCW, but it makes it a special model, right? And in Canada, I believe they're gonna offer about 40 to 50 units, and you can order one now from your local dealership or online. In the US, it starts at about $45,000, $46,000 US. And I believe in the US, they're doing about 100 to 120 models. And of course, bigger population. Now, what do I think about this specific trim, this 999 units for the world? Well, essentially Canada, US, the UK, going to get this. Maybe another country, maybe Australia. Not sure about that. I couldn't see that somewhere, but these countries are going to get this special edition. I think for the price is a great trim. Why? It's a special one, and they're not charging you a lot more money. Here's what I think they could have done better. First, that air intake scoop that it's on top of the hood at the front should have been actual working one, not fake, because it looks fake. I think they would have made this car a bit more interesting. The exhaust system in the back is not as loud. I wish it was just a bit louder. That again would have made this car a bit more interesting as well, and the trim. I've always been a fan of these Mini Coopers because they're fun to drive. They're fun to go around the corner, and I'm actually on winter tires right now. And this thing hooks with winter tires. I hate this thing in the middle. The armrest annoys the hell out of me. I always keep it up. It's useless for me because I'm tall, that's the problem. And if you want to have fun, it's nice that it's there, that you can just fold it. I think that's a huge advantage. These things drive like go-karts, and if you're looking for a small vehicle, 6-speed manual transmission, a bit of power, looks great on the outside, you can tell it's a JCW, not a lot of space, of course, like you can see my case in the bag because I had to fold the seat because it wouldn't take both bags, and it's just not spacious inside. And I understand that it's one of those vehicles that you buy it as a single person, whether female or male, and this is that kind of car. It's fun to drive, literally drives like a go-kart, and that's one thing I absolutely love about this. You're so low to the ground, you feel connected to the car. And another thing I love about this is the interior here in the front. It's so spacious. I've got amazing visibility because the way it's designed like a box. Big fan of this. Now, a few things that I noticed that I don't like about this car that I've with this package. First of all, it's a steering wheel. The buttons on the steering wheel are too close to the edge, and my hand is pretty big, and when I put my hand in the middle holding the steering wheel, it's 9 to 3, for example. I keep pressing the cruise control button. I've done this today a couple of times with my palm over here, and as I'm pressing the steering wheel, I realize I've turned on the cruise control. And same thing on this side. I seem like to grab the steering wheel a bit more on this area. But other than that, it's a pretty good vehicle for what you pay. And some of the models that you may be looking right now that are around this segment could be an Integra Type S, maybe a Golf R, Civic Type R. This car, you're probably wondering, why am I going to pay $57,000 for this where I can just get an Elantra N? It's a bit different than that. And the interior is quite nice. It's got a very unique design on the inside, very British, yet it's German at the same time. I guess the Germans are making better British cars than the British at this point. And this is a fun car to drive. It might not offer a lot of space. It doesn't come with 4 doors with this package, but it's just fun to drive. I love this. I've had so much fun this week just driving this, and I have other press cars, but this one has been my go-to vehicle. I love the 6-speed manual. The Getrag is not one of the best 6-speed manuals out there, but it actually does the job because it doesn't have a lot of horsepower, and it works well. Rev matching is great, and it does sound good under load, but when you're revving as you're sitting, not as much. There you go. As I'm talking right now, there's another Mini Cooper. Hello. And that's a convertible one. Very nice. Pretty good. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and check out my other videos on my channel.